For you made my dream come true. I really loved those kind of dolls that I bought from China. Made it possible for me. Thank you so much, Rhoda. Well, may God bless you and may God bless your business. Thank you. Take care.
There is no question that is stupid. Anything that you ask me, I'm gonna answer it and make sure that you get a satisfactory answer. Welcome back to another video. My name is Simply Rhoda and this is my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining to watch this video today. If it's your first time on my channel, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're returning subby, thank you for always clicking to watch. Your girl is back again. This video is about to answer a lot of questions that you guys have on my channel concerning shipping to Zimbabwe and sourcing things in China. So this video is all about that. So I'm going to be answering a couple of questions that I'm always getting under my videos pertaining this subject. So the first one is, most people always ask me, Rhoda, how long does it take to ship goods from China to Zimbabwe? So what I'm gonna be telling you is the shipment time, like when we finally load the container and put the container in the vessel, how much time it takes sailing when it's in the sea from China to Zimbabwe. Once the container has been loaded and it's in the vessel is leaving China, that's when I can start to trace this container. It takes about between 45 and 60 days. We give that period so that you won't be buying in a rush and becoming impatient waiting for this vessel. But nowadays, looking at how ships are moving, it also depends with the season and the time. But nowadays, most of our containers are arriving in Zimbabwe within the period of 50 days. The container arrives in Zimbabwe. But when we talk about from the time you buy your things until we ship, now the way I ship is actually different from what other people does. For me, I created a group whereby we can ship together as a group to ease our shipping costs. So what happens is, the moment our container is full, we ship. So sometimes you may buy your things when the container is about to be full, then we can ship. It won't take you long. But if the container is still empty, you are one of the people to buy, you are one of the first to buy things for that particular container, it may take you a little longer. But once I said I'm shipping the goods, now the container is full, that's when we start talking about between 45 days and 60 days you receive your goods in Zimbabwe. Again, there are other factors that I can't really control when it comes to the shipment. The moment I ship the goods, I load the container and send the good to the shipyards. That's when I don't have any control as to when the vessel is leaving. Once it leaves, that's when I start counting the 45 days, between 45 days and 60 days. But there are other factors that may lead to the container to take longer than that time. Maybe being the issues at sea, there could be some waves, there could be a typhoon or something like that. This is actually beyond my control. So I've had people like coming to ask me, okay, if they give you this ETA, how many days will it take for the vessel to reach Beira? I can't really give you an answer on that. I can just rely on the tracking app where we can track these containers, but can't really tell what will happen, whether we have the particular days they will move or the exact dates. Actually, a ship is different than a plane, whereby you know that if we take off, we're gonna be arriving in 3 hours or 4 hours. It's different than ships. Sometimes they may pass through other ports. I don't know which ports they pass through, because sometimes when I track these containers, I see different ports. Like this shipment, I can see ports that I've never seen in the last shipment. So it's always different. I don't know the routes they take, but what I know is it will eventually arrive at my destination. So guys, when you are using or you are choosing to ship your things using sea freight, you really have to exercise patience. Patience really helps you. But what I know for sure, it's rare to have these shipments take a little longer than 60 days. It's rare for that. So be rest assured that you receive your goods. So that's what I'm saying. When you are buying things, if you have a time frame by when you want to use the things, I really advise you to buy your things earlier and give that time, that if something goes wrong or if the shipment is delayed, I will still be within my time frame to use these things, especially for building materials, because I do have some people who are buying their aluminum windows and doors, they are buying tiles and stuff. Oh, by the way, we are shipping tiles again. So who are buying stuff like that, and some of these people, they buy knowing that okay, now they are at the stage of roofing, the next stage they will be going for is tiling. I say it will be very late, because when you are buying, I just say give yourself like a period of 4 or more months to get these things, so that when the time to use them arrives, you have ample time to to ship them, buy them, and by the time you need to use them, you have them with you. So guys, that's just a long answer to the question I was asked. And then the number 2, the second question that I'm always asked is, like I said, we ship as a group. So the second question I'm asking is, how much is it per CBM to ship goods to Zimbabwe, and what do you charge? So for us, the way we ship is actually different from other shippers, because for us, when we tell you your CBM, we share space and everybody pays for the space their goods are going to occupy. We don't have a minimum CBM that we ask of you. You can ship any amount of goods that you want. Then the next thing is, for our CBM cost, it's only for freight. It only covers freight and the port charges, and so freight by sea and also by road. When we get to Beira, our container has to be transported by road to Harare. So we combine all that, the port charges, and that the container port charges, the truck charges, and the sea freight charges. We combine that and we share accordingly. So usually after we combine all this and share accordingly, it is 345 per CBM to ship us. This amount excludes duty, for the reason I'm going to tell you soon. We don't include duty in our freight. Why? Because not everything that's going to be in the container will be required to pay duty. Although most things everything is required to pay tax, that's the VAT, but not everything is required to pay duty. Now, when we look at things like the farming equipment, mining equipment, and industrial machineries, some of these do not pay duty. They don't have a duty tariff, but they pay tax, only VAT. So I don't want to put a duty inside our CBM price, to that reason that not everything will pay duty. So when it comes to paying duty, we will know after we submit our list of goods to Zimra for the tariffs. That's when we know what is going to pay and what is not going to pay, and how much you are going to pay, because not everything pays the same amount of duty tariff. Some goods pays 40%, some goods pays 15%, some 10, some 20. So I don't put a duty cost in our freight, unlike what other shipping companies does. Others, they do include this, because they'll just tell you, okay, our shipping charge per CBM is 500 or is 490 including duty. For me, I feel like that is so wrong, because some things do not pay duty, but anyway, if you are going to ship with them, you are still going to pay duty to them, although your things do not pay that duty. And mind you, they are going to be charging duty per CBM, whether your things pays or not, but you are going to pay that amount, which I said for the shippers or people who are going to ship with me as a group, we want to avoid that. So if you choose to ship with me, know that you are someone shipping on a budget and you don't have a lot of money to be paying for things that you don't have to pay for. So that's the reason why I come up with a group only to serve people who are in a situation like mine. I don't need to pay for a service that I'm not getting. I don't need to pay for the duty that I'm not supposed to be paying. So you find that my only group is to help and cut costs when it comes to such situation. So duty is something that I will advise other people when we submitted that, okay, your goods needs to pay duty and the duty is such and such and such. And this duty is not going to be spread according to the CBM that you have. So I've realized that by doing so, a lot of people are paying what they are required to. At the same time, most people that I've shipped with, anyway, I haven't had complaints pertaining this in the past. So almost everybody I've shipped with in the past 6 containers that we have shipped, nobody has had a complaint about this, and it seems like everybody is happy about this. You can hear these are other testimonies that I get.
Hi Rhoda, this is Anita from Australia. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for a wonderful, incredible job that you did on my behalf, buying those goods from China to Zimbabwe. Oh my God. I thought it was impossible, but you made it possible. From the very first time I called you and I started communicating with you, you know what? I felt like I knew you already. You are so friendly, very honest, and I really liked the back and forth communication between you and me. You kept me updated on all the stages until the final destination. My goods arrived well, in good shape, nothing was broken. What else would I ask for? You made my dream come true. I really loved those kind of doors that I bought from China, and I thought it was going to be impossible, but you made it possible for me. Thank you so much, Rhoda. I'm going to continue doing business with you, and I hope many other Zimbabweans will do the same as well. May God bless you, and may God bless your business. Thank you. Take care.
For being grateful about how I ship for them, so you can listen that for yourself. And then moving on that, there is another question that I'm always asked when it comes to that. Like, okay, Rhoda, some people will just tell you, like, I want to buy such and such a thing, and how much do you think it will cost me to ship to Zimbabwe, including the duty? Honestly, I am not at that stage whereby I will know this by heart, or I have a way to calculate and know. I am an amateur just like you, but what I know is we have an agent who will help us to get these calculations and let us know in advance. So when you decide that you are going to be buying something, you don't need to come and say, Rhoda, I want to buy a machine. The machine costs me this amount. How much is it for me to ship it and the duty until it lands in Zimbabwe? I cannot do that calculation for you. For me, first, I need to know how much space is going to take in the container. This is something I can calculate and know how much space is going to take in the container. You must know its dimensions. So I can tell you probably only the freight charge of it. But when it comes to whether it's going to pay a duty, what tariff, I don't know. Unless if it is something that falls under these 3 categories I mentioned before. This is a machine for industrial purposes, or this is an agricultural machinery, or this is a mining machinery. These three things, if it falls under these 3 categories, I can tell you that, okay, what you are looking at is VAT. Probably I can have a rough idea of how much you need to pay. Okay, now we go on to the next one. The next one comes back to sourcing. Guys, I have always spoke about this in my past video, and I'm still going to, talk about it in this video again. I do help people to source. for things. If you are unable to do this on your own, what you need to do is to tell me the exact thing that you want. Again, sourcing for me is not not for free. It's a paid service. I actually ask people for this service. I always tell people that this service, we pay about $80 for sourcing for you per supplier. So if you want me to source for you, you need to budget at least $80 per supplier. What I've realized, a lot of people get confused when I say this. Some people will even, like, when they give you, when they think that the $80 will be to source for a million things for them. Like, the moment you say that, someone will give you a long list with 100 things from different suppliers they want you to source for them for $80. Again, I'll repeat myself, sourcing for me is $80 per supplier. So if you're gonna have people that comes from different suppliers, let's say you have electricals, you want me to source for you agricultural equipment, farming machineries, bathroom fittings, kitchen fittings, furniture. These are different categories. Just know that these things are going to be coming from different manufacturers. So it means if you give me a list that I have 10 things, you need to say 10 multiplied by 80. That is the sourcing cost for you. So yeah. And some people, I think it seems like they tend to ignore the part that sourcing is not for free. It's a service I provide. I can happily do that for you if you pay for that. And there are still those people who think they can actually get these price ranges for free, because even though you tell the person that it's a paid service, they want to outsmart me by telling me, okay, how about this toilet? How much can it cost? How about this machinery? How much can it cost? Of course, it means I still need to go and source for it and tell you the price. So do not try to outsmart me. I have had a lot of people approaching me using these tactics and method, and you find that those that does that are actually the ones that do not require that service. And you find that in the end, they do not even ask for this service. They do not even take this service. I know haters are gonna come and crush me and say a lot of nasty things about it, but anyway, I do not care. Sourcing is a paid service. Now that takes me to another question that is asked again on the channel pertaining this shipment. It's when we ship our goods, where do we get them? Do you deliver the goods to our homes or what? What I do is, we are still a starting up company. We are not that big. We do not have trucks that deliver door to door. So what we do, when the container arrives, we have a designated place that we offload our containers, and everyone should organize their own transportation to come and collect their things. So if you happen to be in another country, you must have your trusted representatives that can come and collect your things on your behalf. And that's what we do. Once the container arrives in Zimbabwe, we organize a safe place for collection. And by the way, we also do not have warehouses. So once the container arrives, it means you have to immediately come and claim your goods, since we don't have anywhere to store your goods if you don't come. By the way, we have to offload within a certain period of time so that the container is returned back to Bahia. Failure to do so on time, we have to pay a fine for that. So yeah, that's what happens. I think, guys, I've answered quite a number of questions that I'm always asked pertaining shipping to Zimbabwe. And there's one more. There are a lot of you, I realize, that you want to come to China to, see these things and probably, be motivated, but you don't know where to start. And I have gotten, I think, a lot of requests, as in, Rhoda, are you able to spend time and show us around? If so, how much does this service cost? And I had sat down and realized that actually I am going to be doing group tours on this one. So you guys, you can come at the same time, and we can do these tours as group tours rather than one-on-one. I think this is going to be costly for you, but if I do it as a group tour, it's going to be very affordable for you. So I was looking at times like in October, when the weather is quite comfortable here in China, as well as in January. It's also okay to come. So I am going to be putting my touring times during those months, October and January. So yeah, you can arrange yourselves and just set aside that time to travel to China, and I can take you around. And the amount that it will cost to take on those group tours, I will be advising you in the future videos. I'll actually dedicate this as a separate video, so I can give you a lot of details pertaining that once everything is down. And I've drafted everything about these tours. I will come with a separate video, guys, to actually let you know what you need to do and the steps you need to take and what's required of you to join in that groups. So it will be easier for you to follow, as well as see if you can meet up those requirements. And yeah, we can get started from there, because I think it's high time I should open up for this, because there are a lot of you who want to come to China, but you don't know where to start. And I'm gonna be here to be your tour guide, take you to manufacturers and factories, and some vendors, malls and stuff like that, where you can find things, and we take it from there. So thank you guys for keeping on the questions coming. I know you're watching and you are laying out your concerns, and I'm here to answer them. There is no question that is stupid. Anything that you ask me, I'm gonna answer it and make sure that you get a satisfactory answer. And thank you for watching this video right to this end. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys. It's goodbye for now. Bye.